Canada election 2025 polls open as Carney, Poilievre face-off. Canadians began voting Monday for a new government to confront annexation threats from the United States and deal directly with President Donald Trump, whose trade war has defined the campaign. The first polling stations to open in the massive country that spans 6 time zones were in the Atlantic province of Newfoundland and Labrador. Canada goes for high-stakes elections today amid looming Trump threats. Hey race. What we know: the Liberal Party, led by new Prime Minister Mark Carney, looked set to lose easily to the Conservatives' Pierre Poilievre until the U.S. president's attacks on the country sparked a sudden reversal in poll forecasts. Carney, 60, has never held elected office and only replaced Justin Trudeau as Prime Minister last month. He had a lucrative career as an investment banker before serving as the central bank governor in both Canada and Britain. Carney has argued his global financial experience has prepared him to guide Canada's response to Trump's tariffs. He has also promised to revitalize internal trade and expand Canada's economic opportunities abroad to cut reliance on the United States, a country Carney says we can no longer trust. The United States under Trump wants to break us, so they can own us, he has warned repeatedly through the campaign. We don't need chaos, we need calm. We don't need anger, we need an adult, Carney said in the campaign's closing days. Poilievre, a 45-year-old career politician, has tried to keep the focus on domestic concerns that made Trudeau deeply unpopular toward the end of his decade in power, especially soaring living costs. The Tory leader has argued Carney would bring a continuation of what he calls the lost Liberal decade, arguing that only a new Conservative government can take action against crime, housing shortages, and other non-Trump issues Canadians rank as priorities. You cannot handle another 4 years of this, he said over the weekend. Poilievre has critiqued Trump, but insisted 10 years of poor Liberal governance had left Canada vulnerable to a newly hostile United States. Nan final polls indicate a tight race but put Carney as the favorite. Surveys have also consistently shown voters view the ex-central banker as the best candidate to deal with Trump. Jeff Sims, who lives in Quebec near Canada's capital Ottawa, said he believes Carney has the pedigree to be Prime Minister. 2 central banks under his belt, I think that's a good pick, the 46-year-old told AFP on Sunday. At a weekend Conservative rally in the battleground city of Oakville, west of Toronto, Janice Weiner rejected the notion that Carney marked a departure from Trudeau. Trudeau's policies stunk and it's the same party, she told AFP. Canada is just in a mess. I'm 70 years old. It's not even a country that I recognize and I'm worried for my grandkids. Like many voters, Nadine Sakal, a 41-year-old who also lives near Ottawa, listed the threat coming from the US as her number one issue. And if the Liberals win, it would mark one of the most dramatic turnarounds in Canadian political history. On January 6, the day Trudeau announced he would resign, the Conservatives led the Liberals by more than 20 points in most polls, and Poilievre looked on track to be Canada's next Prime Minister. But Carney replacing Trudeau combined with nationwide unease about Trump transformed the race. Public broadcaster CBC's poll aggregator on Sunday put the Liberals' national support at 42.8%, with the Conservatives at 38.8%. As with U.S. elections, national polling numbers may not predict a result. The performance of 2 smaller parties, the left-wing New Democratic Party NDP and the separatist Bloc Québécois, will be closely watched. In past elections, strong NDP performances in Ontario and British Columbia, and a good showing by the Bloc in Quebec, have curbed Liberal seat tallies, but polls suggest both smaller parties could be facing a setback. Nearly 29 million of Canada's estimated 41 million people are eligible to vote. A record 7.3 million people cast advanced ballots. Swipe left for next video. In the massive G7 country which spans 6 time zones, polls open at 8:30 a.m. local time in the Atlantic province of Newfoundland and Labrador. Canadians will elect 343 members of parliament, meaning 172 seats are needed for a majority. The Liberals won a majority in 2015 but have governed with a minority since 2019. Latest blogs.